All right, how's it going, everyone? My name is Andre Vera, and I'm a senior here at San Diego State University. I'm a business marketing major, and today I'll be going over the American Marketing Association's presentation on what if consumers are not into your brand and how to leverage existing consumer brand relationships. This was given by the American Marketing Association, and it was presented by Scott Connor out of Western University, along with Mansur Kintov out of Indiana University. So the first thing they proposed in the presentation was the brand relationship downfall. So they took a survey out of 323 different consumers, and they found that 77% of consumers stated no brand relationship with their favorite products. And out of them, they asked them to list off their favorite products from their favorite brands, and about on average, people were only able to give about 2.15 brands that actually had true meaning to them. So, with that being said, that just shows that these companies and products are not doing the right things to stay in the consumer's mind, to retain that brand loyalty, and as well as keep that brand relationship up so they keep purchasing their products over and over again. I'm sure we can all think about a product or two that has the most meaningfulness in our life, and the rest is just substitutable. So, that's what they were trying to prove, and that's what they're trying to further out as to why this is and how they want to move further with it to get companies to retain that brand loyalty and brand relationships. So they proposed the question at hand. The research question was, how can we better manage the various types of relationships that consumers have with the brand? And it was actually very simple. It was pretty much a two-step process or a two-question process. So the main thing that they're trying to do is that psychological distance is the most crucial aspect for a customer for and a consumer as to why a brand is important to them. So when they broke it down in the video, they were talking about how, for example, say I'm a car person and you're not. I might value my Toyota more than you won't because you can care less about what kind of car you're driving. But the reason why I value it so much is because maybe I saw a commercial for for the Toyota product and they were just talking about reliability, reliability, reliability. And it's gonna last a lifetime, they were saying. So I could pass on the cars to my kids, and then it keeps that whole family aspect of the product rather than any other car, which is just a car to get you from point A to point B. So for me, that psychological distance with the product is more important to me than rather than someone else. So brands and products need to find ways to create the psychological importance to the consumer. So that's the most crucial thing, and the way they do that is by their advertising. And like I said earlier, it's a two-step question process. So the first thing they were talking about was high versus low language. And this is how they create value in their marketing process. And the two questions I was talking about the is why versus how. So if you think about it, why is a very like abstract, complex question as to what are the reasons that this is happening versus how, which is just what's it called? How, which is just like how is it going to make a difference in my life? So I'm sure we can all think about Apple is obviously one of the biggest companies in the world and one of the most dominant products in the market with the iPhone. And many people would say they're very brand loyal to that. But why? They don't know why, but they know how it happened because their advertising is very simple. Usually has white or black backgrounds, which keeps it very slick and very high profile and keeps it very like high in value. It means a lot to the customer versus a Y product, which is like on the commercial for the presentation, they had Head and Shoulders, which was very basic, and it's more of a why do you need to use Head and Shoulders? Well, mainly it's just to get rid of dandruff, but that's pretty much it. There's other shampoos out on the market that are very substitutable versus when you go with an Apple iPhone, all they're pretty much their main competition is just BlackBerry and then Androids. And many people would argue that they have more iPhones out there than Android products. So that why versus how is very crucial because when you keep it low language, you keep it as simple as possible. So iPhone commercials, they always have keywords, fastest chip ever, um, higher resolution. Another one could be the best camera yet. Versus when you see a Head and Shoulders commercial, it's very complex. Like, oh, we have the new formula that's better for dandruff and whatnot. So by lowering that language barrier and just keeping it as simple as possible, consumers don't have to think much. They just see it, purchase it, ready to go out the door. So a major recap of this as to how to retain that brand loyalty and brand recognition is to keep it as simple as possible. Um, The simpler the advertising, the greater results in profit, and as we saw from Apple, their products are revolutionary, but they kept it as simple as possible, basic pictures, basic captions, and that they keep you in that how it's gonna make an impact in your life rather than why you should purchase their product. So, the why versus how is very crucial. If you hone in more on the how aspect of things, you should see greater results because you're not requiring the customers to think as much, and they're just gonna keep moving forward with your brand and continuing that brand loyalty and recognition as well. And that ultimately should just keep your product moving. And that's how these companies actually leverage um, this brand loyalty and brand recognition with the most simplest factors. And then here is the link to the original presentation. As I said before, it was done by Scott Connors from Western University and Mansur Kimatov out of Indiana University. All right, and thank you so much for the time and presentation. So just remember how versus why versus how, and how is the most important one. Thank you so much.